Hey, everybody likes to go out and eat. But do we know what happens behind the kitchen doors? Well, that's what this show is about, as we bring in one of Orange County's original gangsters, the original guy behind fine dining here in Orange County. We got Chef Pascal with us here today, and yet another one of his proteges from all those years. Is that a correct way to describe our guest here? Is she a protege of yours here?
She's a protege, but she's also more than that. Chelsea Diana Cruz, and we share a big part of our life together. Actually, my wife said, "Oh yeah, she's your chef girlfriend."
You're allowed to do that? You're allowed to have a chef girlfriend?
I
your
think
girlfriend.
we're a lot
okay.
like family too.
My family, she is like my work daughter, and so her and I, we went through a lot of changes sometime in the business, in the kitchen, and she was always there for me for 17 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
You worked at Pascal's? Is that where you worked at?
Yeah.
Or what was other places? Yeah.
I've worked at a couple of different places, and that was one of the great things that he always allowed me to grow and expand, and that kind of helped my career so much because I was able to travel a lot and take from other chefs and bring it back to the classics and build on it. So I think it definitely...
So give us a quick rundown of your journey. He gave me a long bio, and I was impressed.
Good.
I saw Michelin Guide, I saw resorts, I saw even Burning Man. We're going to talk about here today.
She always shoot high, and she always assume, and she just make it happen. so give us a little breakdown.
Okay. Well, first, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in and just listening to our journey. And like they said, it's just so much more than food. It's our life and our love and passion and what we try to give back to the community. So that being said, my journey has led me through all sorts of opportunities, and a lot of it is thanks to the people who believe in me and give me these opportunities. I started off in a taco truck when I was 15 with my parents, and I went to culinary school and graduated when I was like 19. And from there, I started at studio at Montage in Laguna Beach. And when that's
a pretty big place to start. You didn't start at some local neighborhood restaurant.
At that time, Montage was a big deal.
I also did smaller restaurants.
Yes.
But my first restaurant after culinary school was that one. But I did before. I actually even staged for free for like 4 months at Charlie Palmer in South Coast.
Another big one, yeah.
Yeah, and I just really wanted to gain that experience. I was going to school full time, then I was staging, and I also worked as a line cook. It's more like it was like Vietnamese. We had woks, we had like a line. I did like garde and fry, and I just did as much as I could to keep growing.
Did you work with Daniel Hong at
I did. That's where I know him from. He was my mentor there. Yeah. So he taught me a lot of what I've known.
Go look at your earlier episode. Was he's the chef at the Park Club?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All intertwined
so
here.
when I was 18.
See, we are family.
Big family. You are family. Yeah.
And it was my first time meeting a master chef, and they believed in me so much that they let me be there. I was about 17, 18. And then I volunteered at a charity function called Share Our Strength for the Illumination Foundation.
Another great group we've had in here numerous times.
Yeah. And what they do is they bring homelessness awareness. That's something that's very close to my heart. And so I participated in that.
Why is that close to your heart? Do you know people that are homeless, or have you been homeless, or you just believe in the cause?
I personally have been affected by it, and I remember just struggling growing up in Santa Ana. And, a lot of it, I didn't feel bad because we ate really well in Santa Ana. Like, there's so much to do. And we had a really good family, so we were always partying, like carne asadas. And so I didn't really understand it, but...
But did you live... You say you were homeless, so did you live out?
It wasn't necessarily that. We were always kind of found a place to stay with our families.
Unhoused. You were looking for housing all the time.
And I remember at a certain point, my dad kind of built a situation with his work. So it was hard times from, I think, when I was 7 to 11. And luckily we were able to find a like a mobile home. Still not like the greatest house, but definitely an improvement.
Are you an Orange County born?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was born in Santa Ana, born and raised in Santa Ana. And so, yeah, I started with tacos, and we ate tacos every day. And I think that moving forward with my story, when I was 28, I was able to get a restaurant in Santa Ana for tacos into the Michelin Guide for about 3 years in a row.
Mm-hmm. Really? Which one was that?
It was called El Mercado, Modern Mexican Cuisine up in Santa Ana. Not sure if it's still there, but that was just like a good full circle moment for me.
Big achievement.
Yeah. It was just we were very short staffed, and it was during COVID. I was actually offered my dream position at Knife Pleat to become their lead cook.
We got to have somebody come in from that place. I keep hearing about. I've never been there, but everybody talks about that place. Yeah.
Great place, and that was my dream. But at the time, that restaurant didn't have any staff. Everybody left because of COVID, and so he was my friend. I had to help him. I felt that my civic responsibility was to be there, and it was all magical. It kind of paid off.
Can I ask you 2 questions about Santa Ana? Because we do a show with the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce,
Sure.
Always bringing in restaurants from Santa Ana. Perla was the last one. I think they brought in some others. And I don't think people know the explosion of food and cooking and cuisine that's been happening for several years now in downtown Santa Ana.
Yes. And we have a common friend is very involved with the Hispanic community. Our name is Wendy.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wendy Reese.
Mm-hmm.
And you can talk on your Hispanic show about her. She's always involved with all.
We should get you both to come in, because they're always trying to explore and explain to people this isn't just for there was many ethnic areas in Orange County, Little Saigon or whatever, and generally it just caters to the people in that community. Anybody can go there, but most people wouldn't know. Santa Ana Way has seemed to reach out beyond just the limits of the community, is really doing some cutting-edge, wild stuff. And we've talked about this before. Maybe the future of culinary fine dining is not the fancy Charlie Palmer's anymore. It's maybe really unique ethnic food that's popping up everywhere.
For the community.
Yeah. I do think that the Michelin Guide has been evolving, and there's a taste for everyone. There's different, you want to keep it changed. So it's good to honor the Michelin Guide as it is, and honor all the hard work that our predecessors, our mentors have put with with all the fine dining that continues to be the standard to us.
And they, in particular, seem to be reaching out to look for specialty, unique ethnic cuisines that are really done well, rather than just white tablecloth restaurants.
Yeah, but that's unusual because we're in Southern California.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's so many variety of dining.
Tons.
And doesn't mean it's all fine dining. No, in the rest of the world, Michelin Guide is concentrated on fine dining, a lot of French fine dining,
right.
high-end
which
sushi.
Which always suggested fancy, inexpensive.
Yeah,
right.
Totally. And so Chelsea, she one of the things that I noticed when she started working with me, in that when she cooked, and she really understood the fact to cook one dish at a time, nothing pre-cooked.
That sounds obvious. That is not what you do. So you're saying it's a production, they got 10 going or something?
Yeah, but she keep going. You have to have a system. But if she cook a piece of filet, I will say, she always adds something to it. She will add a little piece of butter and it gets sizzling more, and then she drop a piece of herb or rosemary or tarragon, and then she keep on basting. You have an obsession about basting food. It's amazing.
Fat's flavor. I mean, but it has to be at the right temperature. The thing about basting is it can't be too low, because then your meat, your protein will get saturated and it's just greasy. You're not really doing anything there. But the intention there is just to give it a even cooking, and also moistening it up. It's still considered a dry heat method, but it's more about taking consideration into what you're doing at the entire process, and there's a reason for everything, and that is just to keep it juicy, but also cook all the sides evenly. So when it rests, you get a perfect all like color all throughout, not just a
with
little
an
ring.
extra flavor. You don't need a barbecue sauce on that. That's for sure.
I am amazed
Salt.
just listening to the way she describes it is not the way I've heard anybody describe cooking meat.
Yeah. There's a science there and also on art.
Yeah.
And so is this where we met first at the culinary school? You were doing an exhibit or something?
No, we were able to meet a little bit later, and it all ties back down to somebody we met at studio. And shout out to James Paris. He's still a great cook, you know. He's been a strong friend in my career and was able to get me connected to you. And I remember I fell in love like as soon as I went there. This was after studio, and I had.
This was a restaurant called Studio?
So after studio
Studio
was
was
the
at the
restaurant.
Montage, the fine dining restaurant.
Oh, okay. That's what it's called.
And I got to work
Look
there.
at me.
with
I don't get to go to the Montage, so I don't know
Me
what it's
neither.
called.
I understand completely. I didn't even know what horseradish was until I was like 19. I didn't even know there was more than one mustard, you know? So it was a humbling experience. When I went there, everything was copper pots, marble countertops.
Yeah.
Everybody was playing with tweezers. Everything was white. And Chef
They're
Strong
cleaning
was
with
there.
tweezers.
Chef
Yes.
Strong is an amazing chef.
Incredible. He is another father figure of mine in the industry and one of my greatest
Get
mentors.
him in here.
Yeah, would love to. I mean, such a great a human being. And
So here's what I'm just trying to struggle with.
yeah.
So I hear starting off, it was a struggle in Santa Ana, as many go through, and your first cooking was a taco truck.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't stay there.
No.
You took tacos to the ultimate expression, enough so that the Michelin Guide said, hey, these aren't just tacos. This is something special. This is fine dining.
What
Somehow that happened.
Was that your goal?
No. I love tacos. And it's kind of funny because my parents always gave me a hard time. They were like, why are you going to culinary school? Like, taco chef. And then I find myself cursed or like lucky enough to be doing it now. So because people always ask me for tacos. And now I love tacos. Well, I've always loved tacos. So
Can you tell us which culinary school you went to?
yeah, I went to the Art Institute of California in Orange County, and it used to be
Big deal.
by South Coast Plaza. But yeah, right after that, I was staging. Somebody came to our school that day, Chef Kim. He came to our school and told us about how important it was to stage. And
To do what?
to stage.
Stage.
I have no idea what that
Well,
I have to stop you guys when you start talking inside baseball
Stage
here.
is when you are a student in any professional industry. You're a student at school, but you need to go to a professional practice.
Okay.
So you can actually be on the job.
Sort of like interns in a certain sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, like a self-appointed
and you
internship.
learn your craft directly. I always say do both, school and stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I did that by choice just because somebody came in and told us how much it helped him, and I always knew that that I was going to be a chef. No matter what, I was going to be a chef, no matter what it takes. And then when I heard him,
Why? I mean, did you grow up in a tradition of many people when they come on the Hispanic show, they say, "Oh, I love food, but nothing like my mom's food."
exactly.
You know.
No, exactly.
So they learn to cook, but they don't necessarily say, "I want to do that for anybody but my friends and family," where I want to do that professionally.
Do you think some of the TV food networks push you in that
question.
direction?
Well, definitely that came later. I think really what it was for me, and I don't know, it might be a little bit too explicit for a talk show, but
He's brought in some explicit people.
oh, good.
They told us
Good.
exactly
I think
what's
might be
going
my
on.
She
friends.
can be. She can be.
Okay, I might be one of them too. But so the reason for me,
Who was the tattooed chef you had? He was pretty explicit.
Oh, sorry.
Chris.
oh yeah, okay, great.
So compared to
So-
Chris, everybody's mild.
Yeah, I'm on the scale, but maybe not just there. So
They know each other very well.
Do they?
yeah, I know. Yeah. So for me, I think I'm lucky enough to be Mexican and also a little bit French, but I'm lucky enough to have a strong culture that believes in food, and they love it, and it's just ancient to them. They have just recipes that go back to tradition. So when I was young, I think maybe 4 or younger, but this is my earliest memory of food. We went to a slaughterhouse. I didn't
At
know.
4, you went to a slaughterhouse?
Yeah, and I didn't know it was a slaughterhouse. It's not like by choice, like, oh,
Yeah.
who wants to go to a slaughterhouse? Like, no, it's just, it's kind of part of our culture to
Go get the meat from the source.
yeah, and understand, like, really be aware of where your food comes so that nothing goes to waste, and you treat it with respect. So we went, and we're so young, and they're letting us pick our little baby goat, and then we thought we were going to a petting zoo, and
Yeah.
we thought we were going to come home with a baby goat as a goat, and
Did you see the animal
we
killed? or-
actually did see what it is you're behind the slaughterhouse wall, and you're kind of seeing, they go in, and then there's a wall, there's some few windows. I still remember all this, and
Just imagine.
and then it comes out in the bag.
4-year-old.
That goes very fast.
It does go very quick, and I actually, in culinary school, we also had a farm day where we went to go see the slaughtering of a pig and a cow. And I was vegetarian at that time. For 2 years, I was vegetarian, so that was a very strong lesson.
You should
for me.
become vegetarian.
I think
It
vegetarianism
makes you
is a
become
great
a
lifestyle.
vegetarian. My wife's a vegetarian. She always says, if more people had to go out and actually slaughter their own meat like we used to,
You'd
more
probably
people,
be more Mexican. You would still probably eat it. Just how good it is. I mean, it's hard for me to say this, and I'm sorry. Like, there's a lot of health benefits to either way, but I love meat, and if you cook it, then just remember, to treat it with love and respect. So that's kind of
that's
my
a key,
first.
it really is. I
She
mean,
made my duck dishes
uh-huh.
the best ever. Nice crispy skin. And
Thank you. That one's a really hard one.
So I'm sorry to
Thank
keep
you very
focusing on
much.
taco, but here you're getting
Yeah.
very
So
high-level training, and you're working in some high-level places, but somehow running through your life is this experience of where you came from and what you ate, and you turned that. I'm always curious how people decide to turn a traditional ethnic dish, taco, seems about as simple as it gets, into something more.
I think you just have to become obsessed with it. I was a very fat kid. I was a very happy little chubby kid, and I loved to eat. And so that was crazy to me. I had no idea what had just happened. So we go home, and I remember my grandpa and my uncles and my dad, and it's a huge moment. It's like, you don't just do that often. That's not like a dish you eat often. But they were so excited. They dug a hole. They, like, with cement, they built an oven in the backyard, and then they wrapped it in agave leaves, and they made barbacoa, and they cooked that down.
Say that again.
barbacoa.
Barbacoa?
Oh, barbacoa.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And so traditionally,
I'm saying in
this
my
is how.
American accent here.
No,
but-
it's okay. And
This is where you barbecued for like hours or overnight or something in a pit or something.
and it's exactly it. It's like a grill under the earth, but at the same time, it's slowly roasting and like braising.
Yeah.
And it's absorbing all like the natural minerals from the clay, and like also as well as like the leaves, and just the
And the
charcoal
smoke
and the
and everything.
smoke.
Yeah,
it's real low
It's
temperature.
a Mexican style of
Yeah,
lua.
ancient.
Yeah, like a
and-
lua, right? Exactly. Right.
And it's part of our culture. And so that I still remember, later that evening when we finally had dinner, I had these tacos. I'm just like mind blown up, completely mind blown. I'm like, oh my-
Tacos with the meat from that
yeah.
barbecue.
Yeah.
You
My
put
eyes
the
are like
meat,
rolling to the
yeah,
back of my
so
head.
good.
I'm like, this is the best thing in the world. What is this? And my mom just like shamelessly, just straight in the eyes, like, oh, you remember your little pet goat? And I'm just like,
Oh, no.
we got to revive that image from back.
no.
Took me 20 years of therapy to get over that one.
I'm still talking about it. But after that, I just had a moment. I'm like, I couldn't eat. I was disgusted with myself. I felt like ashamed. And I remember going to my room, and then I just sitting there. I'm like, but they were so good.
Yeah.
Like, why were they so good? And I just remember after that, I was watching my parents
I
every
come
single
from
time.
the
they cooked.
Midwest, big hunters culture, and the true hunters say, I don't kill because I enjoy it, but it's part of the natural process of culling the animals, and it don't just shoot them because you think it's fun. Shoot them with respect. You put that meat to good use.
Exactly.
Feed somebody.
You can shoot, but shoot for what you're going to need.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
No,
Don't
I-
just,
no.
don't
There's
just
still, like,
blast a bunch of
A
deer.
lesson.
Yeah.
There's ethics and hunting as well, and
Right.
and they have their culture and traditions, and that's come from a very long time. So it's different from just killing like mindlessly or just like
Right.
for malice, like with malice. So it's completely entirely different, and even more than that, that's something that always resonated
And you don't
with
do it
me.
lightly. There's a respect for the animals. And
Yeah,
everything.
even the way you kill it, when you do it properly, like they don't feel that pain and they die humanely.
Right.
So it's completely different. So that's, I think, what chefs understand, and even like cooks, they understand it. But like, I think that's the true definition of it being a chef. And I think that that's where that journey started for me, was to understand that there is so much more. And it also just like, when you give back, like when you cook, you're not cooking for yourself, and you're there kind of as a servant to your guest, and you're just trying to create the ambience and serve them and host them and make sure that they're happy. And I think that's really truly the greatest payout for us, and that's why we do it. I think that's why we become obsessed.
So when you go back to places like the Montage or whatever, do they make fun of you? Oh, here's the taco girl. Or did they respect you too? Because I'm seeing
Maybe a little bit
I'm
of
seeing
both.
a huge respect for simple, traditional. I grew up in the Midwest, so barbecue. There's now There's now Michelin recognized kind of barbecue things. There are people hamburgers. You had somebody with hot dogs. I grew up on hot dogs.
Keith.
And Keith, and your friend is turning
The
that into
best hot
more than a
dogs.
hot dog.
Yeah, they
amazing.
look so good.
We're bringing back meatloaf and hot dogs and tacos. We're taking these simple things that we all grew up with in our different cultures, and we're turning them into something better.
It's
Good.
simple at the base, but they make it elevate the
Right.
level. The way they make their own sausage.
Yeah.
Keith make his own.
Definitely a lot of love being paid out
And
to the
that's where I see
comfort
the
food
future.
now.
I know I keep harping on this, but that's where I see the future of fine dining going.
Mm-hmm.
People taking the most ordinary meals that we all grew up with. For me, it was
And
hot dog and
they
meatloaf
just upscale it.
and upscale it.
Well, I
Turn
do-
it into
With
something
the quality
special.
and the
Right.
research.
Exactly.
I think a lot of it too is like evolving in the sense that it's becoming more inclusive to other cuisines. And whereas before in the 70s, 80s, I think the big hit was like French and European culture,
Right.
because they really started that movement. They really, really, really emphasize on just taking your time to enjoy the moment, and like
And super fresh ingredients.
3-hour
and all
long,
that, yeah.
it was a very elevated. It was a whole service. It was like a cadence, almost like a dance. It wasn't
Right.
just
Very much so.
food. And
It's the choreography in the
Who was
kitchen.
the guest you had that we were talking about, that dance of moving the
Oh, yeah,
knives
we
around?
have to move. We are like a cast, and we have our own part to do.
Exactly, and there's a dance as you interact with the customer, and you're moving the stuff around the table and in and
I
out.
used to have a glass glass wall,
Right.
so some guests could see the action in the
Yeah.
kitchen, my restaurant, and people just watch.
Yes.
They have one table with a view of the
Which
kitchen.
was what happened in Europe. You were part of that group that brought that forward. Behind what used to be, when I was a kid, up until
was
the
a
70s, it was a solid
wall.
wall. You
Yeah.
never knew what happened behind the kitchen. Suddenly, it was part of the show, and we all wanted to see it.
that's
Well,
exciting.
first, because we have nothing to hide if you do it.
If you do it right, exactly. And that made me feel better as a consumer. You're not dropping it on the floor,
And then you give a little excitement, a little theatrical side.
Yes,
of,
exactly.
Yeah,
Like
and
all the TV shows.
Yeah.
Now. It's all part of the show.
Thomas Keller, when he opened up Per Se, he actually called upon a ballet company up in New York. I think it.
You're dropping big names here. Thomas
Yeah.
Keller, the French Laundry.
And so
all
when
those
I read
places,
about him, so somebody had pointed this out to me. He hired a ballet company to come and train his staff for exactly those reasons, and the key word being cadence, and flow. So there's a lot of
Cadence
rhythm
and
and
flow,
flow. And it was just, you couldn't always plan on everything. And that's like the beauty of art, that it doesn't have to be perfect, but in its own way, it's like more than perfect. And a lot of it is very personal. So,
Actually, we believe we don't reach perfection yet.
yeah.
We keep
Never.
chasing.
Yeah.
So can I ask
Perfection.
her the same question I asked your friend? We were talking about the cadence. I don't see many restaurants doing the cadence anymore. I see them presenting the food and bringing it out. The servers are friendly. You like the server, but the food kind of comes out when it comes out. And each table, it comes out differently. It doesn't always come out together. They don't seem to have it all sort of timed and perfectly set up like a play, like a dance. But so you just kind of accept it's going to come out, and when it comes out, hopefully it's good.
Yeah.
But it isn't. I don't see the show, the presentation. They certainly don't cook tableside or anything, but they don't. There isn't that cadence to it.
The places that have done that and still do it are successful.
I
for
agree.
sure.
Completely.
I agree, because I don't think the consumer understands it or expects it. They don't think there's a dance with the food. They're just sitting there looking, they're watching, when's it going to come?
And we talk about that. That's the sad part of right now.
Yes.
Some chefs say, I can open my own restaurant.
Yeah.
But you don't even see them in the kitchen.
Yeah.
No.
Where are they? Oh no,
They put their name on it. They designed the menu.
Exactly.
And then it's just a factory. Then it's no different than fast food, where the cadence is it's just an assembly line, and it comes out when it comes out. And sometimes it's late, sometimes it's early, sometimes things don't arrive together. But it's never it's very rarely a show. They present it as a show. Here it is.
But I know if Chelsea opened her own restaurant,
It sounds like it.
she would spend half of her time in the dining room, just to connect,
Coordinated to put it on, to present it.
Funny enough, so that's kind of what happened at Burning Man. And so...
At Burning Man. Yeah, let's get into... All right, can I just stop for a second? Because 99 people out of 100 don't know what Burning Man. Sure. I'm not sure I know what it is, except it's this bizarre, crazy, odd world that happens once a year, somewhere out in the desert. And I don't know what hippies started this, but they erect these things and people hang out in the desert and they build these structures and then burn them.
Okay.
That's all I know.
That's definitely the spark notes of it. It's definitely none of that was completely incorrect, but sure, it's what it is. It's really an art festival, and it's also kind of a lifestyle after you go to Burning Man, but
it's some kind of weird ritual. And
I love weird.
Some kind of performance art. We're going to do it once for a second, and then it's going to disappear.
It's a little extreme, especially for...
and anything goes.
You used to be a hippie. You should go there.
I'm an old hippie. I should go. I always thought it'd be fascinating to go there.
It's very inclusive. That's the main point. And when we have our 10 principles, and it's kind of bad that I'm on the spot. I don't know them all fully, but...
I didn't know there's an actually set of principles that guides everybody doing something there.
Yeah,
because it seems like everybody just does their own thing.
Well, that's also part of it. It's like you go there and you really want to release, from the everyday life and where you go. And so it's very accepting, so people knowing that they look forward to it and they pick their costumes. They want to dress up. The pictures look amazing. But in the essence of it, it's an art festival. And so everybody is allowed to express themselves artistically in the way that they feel that really fits them, and they'll never be judged. And also, that being said, a lot of artists from all over the world travel to share their art. And one of our principles is gifting. And so we believe...
Gifting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So what does food have to do with that?
Okay.
Yeah, what does food have to do with building these structures and these art installations,
so
and then they burn them at the end?
Is a strong... one of our principles. So you have the power to make somebody's day better. You have the power to make their life better. You have the power to make someone happy by giving. The more you give, just effortlessly, you end up receiving more. And not just like money, but just a lot more in life.
And probably with no expectation. You give, and if I don't get anything back, just the act of giving gave
more
me something.
of a trade.
So exactly. Yeah. And
but the old hippies would say, I just give. I don't. If you give me something back, great. But I'm not expecting a trade. Trade means this for that.
Go back to Middle Ages.
Yeah.
Trade. It's just the art of me giving you makes me happy.
Yeah, and there's no money allowed at Burning Man. So there's no money allowed, and everyone gives everything away. It's a hippie festival. Yeah. The more expensive thing is getting into it, but once you're there, you can go anywhere, and if you have nothing, people will give you everything. I actually went, and one of my gifts was $100. And like a pound of dried apricots. I got so much stuff. I got like fur coats. If any time I needed help, I received help. And everybody burns differently. So people go and they're trying to find themselves, and you can find like the purest pure. So people bring their babies or their little kids, and so you can find the darkest dark.
Were you cooking there?
I was. So I went there as a chef for a group called Lunars.
Called what?
Lunars.
Lunars, like the lunar moon? Okay.
Yeah, lunar moon, and also consider we have a hot air balloon. So we have the
highest...
Of course
you do.
Yeah, of course.
Of course you do.
It's Burning Man. And we have the highest DJ set, and our gift.
Of course you do.
Yeah, we have
you put a DJ up in the air in a balloon.
Exactly.
And then what do you blast it out of the balloon, the speakers or something?
Exactly. We have a 360-degree sound system where we use speakers all around a 200-meter parameter.
Of course.
Yeah. And, some of our DJs include, like, Diplo, like,
I think
Vintage Culture.
They did Smurf on Smurf, you burn the...
Oh, no, there's so many rules. There's so many, there's no rules, but there's a lot of guidelines to keep you alive.
Why do they have to burn? Is that something like releasing?
So,
I'm Catholic.
like
is that like
detachment.
releasing incense up to heaven or something?
No,
here?
it's more so like a detachment. So, like, it's kind of like the rebirth. It's all symbolic.
You let go.
Yeah, everybody comes there.
You cleanse.
And
start
that
over.
place, they have 2 burns. They have several burns, but one of them's the man, and then one of
this
them...
giant straw man that's 12 stories tall or 8 stories tall.
Yeah,
or
huge.
something.
And it completely like fireworks and everything. And the other one's like the temple. And people go to the temple and bring pictures of their lost ones, or addictions, anything that they want to release and honor. That's a great place to leave it, and we honor them, just to be remembered. And it's very spiritual. It's a quiet burn. There's beautiful music.
Go Google this thing and look it up. Because
It's
if you haven't heard of Burning
amazing.
Man, it's a wild festival. It's going on for years. Start off very small and it's grown into this. And it's sort of, people just appear.
Yeah.
I don't even know that they promote it or advertise it. It just, word gets
actually,
around and people
it's
just come.
not intended to be advertised.
They don't need to.
Yeah.
No, people just know. Word of mouth and they come.
That's
Sometimes it's overcrowded.
one of the principles is decommodification. So it's not like we don't believe in labels. So nobody goes and
They don't
brings
sell Burning Man
brands.
T-shirts there or something.
if you do buy it, it's not from the organization
Right.
because they're very strong against it. But it's more of a lifestyle. And that being said, it's like intended to reconnect you to what humanity, the kind of humanity we want to be, the civilization. And
So do you get a little membership card, or are you part of the crowd, or are you a
some people
secret
take
handshake,
it serious.
or what?
They call themselves burners. We call ourselves burners afterwards, and
Let's go
it's a lifestyle.
Let's go back to the kitchen burners.
Yeah, the kitchen burner.
Okay, great. No, awesome. Yeah, so I get to be a chef, and that I'm very grateful to my leaders and
And do you just
my
bring
family.
food and give it freely? You just cook up there?
Some stuff I do, and a lot of members, but a lot. So to be part of a camp, you pay your fees, and that's what you're paying for. It's like your meals, the ingredients, your hospitality, transportation, all the accommodations, just to make sure that everything's safe.
Right.
And so we actually went, the first year I went, we had a giant trailer, and it was completely legitimate and everything. However, the second year we went, because it's like there's so many natural elements that you have to consider, we thought it best to go and build an outdoor kitchen and an indoor
From scratch.
And like I'm talking going out there and paving in the dirt, like stakes, and then in a tarp, and then on top of the tarp you put like the bamboo like matting, so you have like, we built a whole restaurant, not just a kitchen. We had a dining room, we had lighting.
Which is just there for a moment, and then it
Yeah.
disappears.
Yeah, just to give the best. So because you
A
can
true
just
pop-up.
have a little picnic, but not me. Like I'm gonna set a whole restaurant and make sure that
And
everyone's
then people
vibing.
just gravitate in and you
Exactly.
share. And
Anybody who came in was our guest. Anybody, even and they always did. So our camp was 60 people, so we were in charge, and there was not just me; it was 3 chefs, but we had
and this is over
towards
what,
the
a
end
week
like over
or a couple
100
of days
people.
or something.
Yeah, actually, so I was part of the build team, so we left a little bit earlier. In total, I think I spent a month with this project.
A month building this, and then how long are you
And
out in the desert
after-
though? For a week or a few days or something?
The first time I went to Reno to check the containers, clean it. I was there for 3 days in Reno, and under the hot sun, just cleaning out a huge like those containers you see on Long Beach and like on the boats,
shipping
the
containers.
shipping containers.
Right.
We had 2 of those filled with like mattresses, all our equipment. So we had to take everything out from the last year, and then we had to clean it all in, take out all the garbage, and put it back in. So we spent 3 days, 20 hours each day under the hot sun.
For free.
For free, yeah. And then after that, I returned a couple days prior to Burning Man, and we just spent like 20 hours every day just like doing logistic work, inventory, receiving, like just purchasing all the refrigerations, all the food. We probably got about 3 hours maximum, and during that
everybody
time,
just pitches in the donations because there's no corporate sponsor, there's no tickets or anything that pay for this. I don't think.
We were part of that camp, so we were focused on our camp, and so the campers paid the fees. So
it's communal. Everybody kicks in, and then they
exactly. Except for me, which I was just one of the chefs, so that was like my focus. And then when we get there, the first day there's a huge whiteout. And it's a huge sandstorm, so it's 50 mile per wind.
Because it's literally there's no power or sewers or toilets.
We had a
mud.
Great team. It was a whole community really that kept us alive. That really like specialized like in that field.
Just like Woodstock, you know.
Yeah.
It's very much like kind of that Woodstock vibe. People just show up and they make something out of it, and everybody helps.
Yeah. Exactly.
And there's peace and love, and all sorts of tribal rituals. And
I mean, you have your moments where you want to kill each other because you're in the desert, but life essentially at our core values is like we want to build a community because and this was important to me because there was a phase where I went through a lot of depression and a lot of darkness, so I really wanted to like refine myself and be happy again, and I found myself going, and I remember it pushing me to my limits, knowing exactly what I was capable of, and going through several sandstorms and being really scared. And then I was just like, I had to be back so I can cook for people on time. I still had a job to do no matter what.
Yeah.
So that was like very loving.
Can I ask you something, Pascal, here? I'm trying to find some common threads here between some of your guests. You've had a number of young proteges, people who've worked with you. Several of them now were sort of picked out of poor neighborhoods. Yeah. They didn't come from a background of fine dining and cuisine and all that stuff. Something in them, you said, I'm going to give you guys a chance, or you and others gave them a chance to express themselves. And the other thing I keep hearing is many of them said they went through dark periods in their life, drug and alcohol or poverty or other sorts of things here.
It's probably why they work very hard and put everything of their soul into their work.
Yeah.
And because they're happy to have a job, and even though, in the case of Chelsea, I tried to pay her as much as I could, but still, it's a struggling life.
Yeah, this is very hard. First, it's California, and second, it's just
meaning it's expensive.
Like a lot, even just the food cost. That's like half of the money already, and then you have to pay the bills, and everything. So it's just it's a hard field. But it was great because Pascal always allowed me to have like different opportunities as they came. Yeah. So I was able to grow really fast.
But I always picture artists. No, I'm gonna show my own naivete. I don't know much about
we're not starving artists because we eat.
Yeah, that's the only difference.
A true starving artist doesn't care. It's just the art, and I don't care if I live or breathe or die, and I don't care if anybody sees it. I'd like somebody to see it, but it's for me. I'm just putting it out there. I feel compelled to put this out there, and if I die, who's the crazy guy that cut his ear off? Van Gogh.
Oh, yeah, Van Gogh.
Nobody ever bought a painting of his in his whole life. It wasn't until after he died that they discovered him. And that was okay. I mean, as much as he would have liked some recognition, he was doing it for the art. I hear chefs, I thought many chefs would be like that. I don't care if you like it or not. I'm just going to cook. And if you eat it, you eat it. But it's what I do. And I hear the opposite saying, no, it's all about, I got to please people. I got to serve people. I got to give to people.
Yeah, it was... Especially when you're a chef, but you don't own the business.
Right.
And then because sometimes the business side take over that little enjoyment of just cooking. Yes. So you have to find the balance between the artistic expression and the management of a business.
And what people are coming to buy. They're coming to buy the hot dog. They're coming to buy the hamburger.
And I have to tell you, we'd say earlier, I was more of a father, brother. I tried to help a chef like Chelsea, because even I knew she was struggling. And then several times she asked me, Chef, can you drive me home? Oh. I don't have a car right now. My car broke down. I can't afford to repair it.
Here she's cooking at arguably one of the finest restaurants in Orange County at that time. And she doesn't have a car.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It's tough, you know.
But you got to pay your dues.
And then, you know, say, oh.
That's the other thing I hear. All you guys seem to accept that you have to pay your dues. Today, most people, maybe I'm biased because I'm an older guy here, but I know that people want to pay their dues for 20 years or 30 years or 10 years or 2 years. I want to get right to the top. I want to be famous. I want to make money. I want
They
to
have a vision.
Yeah.
And so, talking about vision, now you move on to working for others. You also create your own business. You want to talk about your catering business?
Sure. So I'm not necessarily in catering what I do, and I think nobody really knows what I do. I'm a private chef, and so I guess that comes with the territory. It's like a lot of things that I do have to be remained private.
Because you can't say who you cooked for.
I probably could. They probably won't mind, but I try to respect everyone's life because I'm going into people's homes, you know?
Right.
And
are these all wealthy and famous people, or are they ordinary people?
To me they are. But yeah, I've been very lucky. A lot of and so stuff like Gas USA, some people in the NFL, NBA, just a couple of singers, artists
And how did they find you?
Where
At Burning Man?
No, in the past I've been very lucky to have been partnered with some great brokers. I do a lot of yacht work.
You're kidding. I didn't know.
And actually,
okay.
really, I want to mention Chef Clois and Pascal. And so those are probably the biggest entry into all that lifestyle.
Because Chef Clois, is it Clois?
Yeah, Chef,
Clois.
yeah.
I was trying to remember his name. That's what he does.
Yeah,
That's all he
Clois
does
Martin.
is go out and post stuff.
Oh my God.
We should have you come back. We do a show. We just started a show on yachting.
Sure.
Here, and it's a guy who's been in that world, ran a yachting magazine, ran some marinas, knows all these people with these giant 70-foot, 100-foot boats, and that world that we don't understand.
We all together, Chloe and Chelsea and I, we've done cooking in galleys. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was basically I've been doing that for the last 4 years, and I've spent several seasons out in the water and some with owners. And
you say a season, so you don't just go out on the boat and cook one night or one meal. You're out for a while on the boat?
a couple. Oh yeah, I'm not as much as Clois. Clois continues to be the forefront of this game, and it's a very hard game. But for me, I've been lucky enough to go for a couple of weeks at a time. And
wow. Where to it must be Tahiti
Mexico,
or something.
Yeah,
Mexico.
Tahiti. It just depends on the season. The ones actually local here pay a little bit more, and it's a little bit more comfortable. But they're still very hard because it's not like you have a restaurant where you just come and cook for that day. You have to build everything, do everything from scratch within 2-3 days. Sometimes you get an hour notice and you're off for a couple of days.
And do you cook throughout the day, or is it just one meal?
No, the best ones in the game, Clois, he has the whole system where he's a little bit more relaxed, so he plans ahead and
so
actually
there's a breakfast,
does it
there's a
right.
lunch, there's maybe
Well, I mean, he
She has
preps ahead. I do the same meals and stuff, but I because of the lack of resources, I've had to do it all the day of, everything.
Yes, she has clients. Okay, she wake up, she doesn't even know what she's going to
I don't know who they're going to be.
And the clients say, oh, I have 20 people for lunch and 40 for dinner. Yeah. And then, okay, so I need to go shop and prep and
where do you go shopping? Just a little local market in Tahiti or something? Or?
Yeah, well, based on where I'm based, and I've had to do it.
Cabo or something.
Yeah, Burning Man was in Nevada. I've had to go to Tahoe for a month, and you just have to resource there, and you get better at it as you go. But yeah, you do a lot of small time provisions, in just grocery stores. A lot of people have a lot of health restrictions, so that's something else that we focus on.
Yeah, right.
Is really, really being catered to people's lifestyles and their goals, and also their restrictions, their dietary allergies, restrictions, anything that they do. If they're trying to hit their macros, or if they're trying to live paleo or anything like that, we're still trying to give them the same flavors.
Come on, talk about paleo diets. Eat like a paleo, like a caveman.
Like a caveman. Essentially, no breads, no grains, and very clean, very clean. But the people that eat like that, they look like they eat like that. They look great. They look amazing. Yeah. So I can't. For me, going from being eating on tacos every day and the greasiest Mexican food to trying to cater to this lifestyle, I've gotten lucky.
That's a big gap
to learn a lot about it and kind of involve and include some of that nutrition into
So
my
is
life.
that your full-time gig, or that's just a part-time gig? Do you still cook somewhere? Could we go taste your food today somewhere?
Yeah.
It's on demand.
Yeah. I mean, the great thing is that having my own business, then there's a lot of time that I have to freelance. So I partner up with a lot of chefs in the industry, and I do a lot of charity work to keep me relevant in the network, and showcase, some of my abilities. But I do a lot of catering.
Wealthy people show up to donate money for a cause, and there's a big dinner, and they taste your stuff, and they say, hey, why don't you come to my house? Why don't you come to my boat?
I don't take clients at the charity function. I have a separate project when I do these charities. I own a brand called Connected Culinaire.
Connected Culinaire, like French Culinaire? Okay.
Yeah. And it's a network marketplace. Essentially, it's an incubator program to help.
What? Here we're in an incubator building here. This is a sci-fi science incubator.
Oh, hey.
Hey, this is it. You're home.
Well, hey.
Yeah, she has her own. She keep
That's
everything together.
Interesting. So what
That's what
do,
we're at UCI's Beal Applied Innovation Center. It is a fancy word for where they take technology developed on campus, usually in academic research, and try and turn it into something, to incubate it into a successful business, not just science research.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
That's what I'm talking
I've been doing it for free. But
Talking about. The whole building's filled with that.
Excellent. So what we do with these charities, and a lot of it is like because of Pascal. Well, the first one I did was Table for 10, and that's a great charity that gives back to a scholarship for culinary programs at Saddleback College. And it's a great culinary program now.
Where 10 people buy a table and they all sit together, and then it's a chef assigned.
Chef, one restaurant, one kitchen, just
one table.
for you.
In the past, it's only been resorts and big restaurants, because they're the only people that can afford to give this kind of service like for free.
Right.
You're talking about food, the labor, the cost of the decor, everything, the wines. So what I thought would be amazing was to start a project where people that can't afford to do it by themselves can come together, collaborate and take on like one course. And so I would fund, or I would help resource the what they need to create their own dish so that they could be seen. And I would invite photographers, videographers to come and help them build their portfolios. And then we can help each other out.
And she
throughout
built
the
up
year.
a menu on that.
Yeah. And I would introduce each person per course.
Can we come to one of these things? We'll be the guinea pig. We'll
you will
need
come.
it.
The next one is in March.
Connected Culinaire is taking a break now.
Naturally.
We did it for 4 years, and we helped raise over $6 million for six major charities.
Wow.
So
Look at you.
we put in our work, but our next stage is to make money for my team. So the next
money.
events
You're
we
at Burning
do,
Man. There's no money. We don't make money.
I don't even want it,
art.
but I want my team to be okay.
We back to the
They're
real
given
world.
too
Back
much.
to the real world.
Yeah,
Right? Burning Man only lasts for a moment. It's an
money
illusion.
helps.
Yeah.
No, honestly, and it's not intended to make us rich. It's intended for us to build a network, and so that the dream can stay alive. But more than anything, it's to thank my team for all their effort and like their hard work.
So here's a strange idea. So this building is about somebody comes up, does some scientific research, a protein, a gene, a medical device, something you've been working on, a cure for cancer or something, and you've been in a lab and you've been experimenting with this idea, and a team works on this thing, and then eventually they say, this is something. So you go to your friends and family and you raise a little bit of money and you say, we've now got a company, and maybe raise $500,000, $1 million or something if you're really lucky. And you move into a building like this, which has a research lab, and now you continue that work because it's going to take you 10, 15 years to develop this medical device, this technology, and go through FDA approvals and clinical trials and everything, right? So there are incubators that start appearing, first angels and then later incubators.
Yeah.
And they show up and say, we're looking for something new that we can fund, that we can make money off of. I wonder if anybody's incubating the future of food.
We're trying, and the way that we see it evolving,
Yeah.
it's very AI, it's very technological. And another reason that Connected Culinary will be taking a break is because I'm taking a step back to go back to business school and actually learn how to make it profitable, but also fair, and to understand what our values are and what we're trying to sell. The project phase was really good for me to like understand what our needs would be and how to become sustainable, and, just like the cost. It was very costly, but really what it did, really set the tone for what we want. And
So is anybody incubating? We sort of talk about this a lot. We're doing it just verbally. But is anybody backing saying, like we're talking about food halls now, or food trucks, or the different things that I never heard of 10, 20 years ago? Different ways to cook, different ways to eat, different ways to express.
Yeah, there is.
Stuff.
There's a lot of people in our community that are making a big, big change. And a lot of those people are my mentors, Chef Pascal, who is Primal Academy.
Paul Buchanan.
Yeah.
They were in here, yeah.
So they're, and all our friends, Adam.
And they're talking
from
Adam
Earthwind.
Yeah.
they're real big into teaching
Troy.
sustainable cooking and
They're
teaching
the
a different way of
reasons
it. Yeah.
I feel that I have that civil responsibility to also do it for our generations. And like, more than anything, I see the benefits really. I see the demand that like what we're trying to do is create a network where you can go and find resources and find where people are doing that, where you can volunteer, where you can do it. Because I do believe in staging because you get connected. And I do believe in charity.
Staging. I don't know how to spell that word. I got to go look that up. Staging, whatever that.
It's such a great opportunity to network. And networking, I think, is like, it's not always what you know,
But
it's who you know.
you guys are creating a new world of food.
Exactly.
Pascal grew up in a tradition from the basic French cuisine to taking it to fancy places. But it was still basic, his mother's cuisine.
Classic.
Right, it's classic. It's been around forever, long time.
Yeah.
Now we're taking some of those, and then there was a period of fusion where we're fusing those together, different cultures and different ideas.
Yeah.
And it wasn't one thing, it was a new thing.
Yeah.
And something nobody had ever seen before. Now, but that got expensive, and that got had to get corporatized, and it had to, because there was so much money to build the building and advertise and hire the staff and everything. It got turned into a formula, and it's lost a little something, experimentation and creativity and whatnot. It was more of a productivity. Yeah. People are trying to figure out, so what's the next phase of restaurants?
Right now, the phase we are in is concept.
Oh.
Everybody's got to have a concept, right?
Concept. It's all about concept. Because of the demand, people want something new.
Different,
They want something different.
They don't want just another Mexican restaurant or another time. When I was a kid,
they may come back to it,
Yeah.
but right now it's concept.
I can see that, and I can also see technology being a part of it and being like an immersive,
or we have robots in the kitchen making the stuff. And
like I see a lot of people, like in New York, they add like projections or just like smoke. And so it's a lot more immersive. It's like they really want it to feel like a whole experience where it's more than just eating. Yeah. Because it's like you're kind of paying a lot of money now.
But they tried
so
that
they want to take
years ago, like dining in the dark,
Yes, exactly.
That doesn't sound like a great idea.
That was a little extreme.
But there are
sound like
people
it was
doing that
gonna
kind of stuff out there where you go somewhere and there's something going on other than just eating.
Well,
Burning Man.
We bring that sometime on our menus. Like we used to have a rack of lamb, and we burn rosemary. Mm-hmm. We cover it, and then we open it up in front of the guests.
Yeah, and then
all these smoked drinks that
it's
they're
like
doing.
the X Factor, and if you ever read the Flavor Bible, it talks about
Flavor Bible.
Yeah, it's one of the best books you can.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, oh my goodness. It's like an encyclopedia of flavor. So if any ingredient, you can look it up and see what goes with that. But the beginning chapter, it tells you how to create the perfect dish, garnish, protein, carbs, sauce.
Which is science.
And X Factor.
What goes with what? What doesn't...
well, the X Factor actually doesn't even just hit science. It's more so like the X Factor is that secret ingredient. It doesn't have to be an ingredient per se, but like something visual, something out of the box. And that's something that Pascal kind of had in him that he didn't even read from the book. He told me that, and I'm like, oh great, like and then so I took more into that, and I think that people are so focused on the food, this and that, but like also the X Factor, it's the
dance, the presentation.
It's what it takes it to the next level.
The experience.
Yeah, the experience, and everybody's like,
Burning Man's an experience. That's all back to that. I wish we could burn this subject for days, because you got me really intrigued now where this is going.
Yeah.
And I thought Pascal would just bring in chefs who have successful restaurants in Orange County like he did for 30 years. And that's great. I want to see what they're doing. And we've had some, and we'll have more. But you keep bringing in people who are private chefs or food trucks or food halls or oddball one-off presentations and
being a food
freak
maker, a food artist.
Yeah,
doesn't mean you have to own a restaurant.
That's what I'm getting
It's
at.
very important.
I never thought. I thought that was the ultimate goal. The only way you could express it: rent a building, get people to walk in, sit down.
Yes,
it's kind of nice to hear because I always felt like I was lacking or I was failing, in my journey because you grow up watching the Food Channel, you grow up, and so you get out of culinary school thinking you're going to be like Gordon Ramsay or Julia Child. Like, you think you're going to make it right after the industry. And it's just so hard. But the great thing is, like, Pascal later in life, when it was getting even harder for me, he was like, you're doing it your way. And I remember I was lucky enough to be on a game show once called Chef vs. Master with Rick Bayless. And I remember, like, one of his pep talks was, like, him telling me specifically about, like, that secret extra X factor, keep it simple, be relaxed. Like, he gave me a great pep talk right before the show, and I remember keeping that voicemail for a long time. But it was like,
you kept his voicemail.
They're great words from one of the greatest mans I've ever met. But also, it's just like completely telling me that, like, I was going to be a chef and I was going to do it my way.
You can do it your way. Well, I hope you come back and share the journey as you continue. From Burning Man, from the montage to taco truck to Burning Man. That's quite a journey.
Yeah, I should keep on cooking.
To yachts and everything else here. All right, cool stuff. Anybody they can reach you if they want to connect with you? Are you visible on social media? Are you somewhere people can find you?
Yeah, I've been trying to hide for a while, but I think it's time for me to share what my friends have been doing to help me and our project. But yeah, stay tuned. You can follow me on Instagram for right now, and I'm very excited to
And what's the handle or the name? Or what do
it's
they
just
call
Chelsea.Diana.c. And pretty soon, hopefully...
Chelsea.Diana. What?
C?
Just the letter C.
Yeah, just Chelsea Diana Cruz. But stay tuned. I'm definitely going to be trying to develop a connected culinaire and partner up with my friends and hopefully do good for everyone.
New experiences yet to come here. New ideas. You're incubating a new way of dining.
We're trying.
Wow. Okay.
I'll do it next week.
All right, Chef Pascal. Any place they want to tune into you? Just how do they reach you if they want to find you?
They can reach me at pascalnpb.com. So I will answer back the email or my Facebook on my Pascal Olhats or Pascal Cuisine.
All right. Or come and tune into the show each and every week as we continue to explore from the Innovation Center here. What's the innovation in food happening next here? Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, that could have gone on for a lot longer here. We're just starting to open the door. There is a lot happening behind the kitchen doors, apparently, starting with the fact it may not be a door to a kitchen. It may be a door to a truck or a door to a desert or a door to a yacht or no door at all. I don't know if I'm ready for this. It's all happening behind the kitchen doors right here in Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio, streaming live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation Center.